What's going on, guys? Killer6 back with another Borderlands video, and today we're looking at the top 10 side quests to farm in Borderlands 2. These are quests that, with a little know-how, you can farm repeatedly in order to get some amazing gear. Now, before we get into the list, let me point out that I have a video teaching you how to farm multiple quest rewards, and the link to that will be at the end of this video and also in the description of the video down below. Alright, let's get into it.
And number 10 is...
Number 10, In Memoriam. In order to have this quest available, you'll need to complete the Hunting the Firehawk quest. After that, when Lilith returns to Sanctuary, she will have this quest available to you. The quest is very easy, consisting of just a few short steps, including killing Bull, who can drop the Fastball grenade. After completing this quest, you turn it in, and then after saving and quitting, you can return to Three Horns Divide and kill Bull for another chance at the legendary Fastball grenade mod. I'd recommend getting the Fastball for normal and maybe even True Vault Hunter mode. Beyond that, the damage output's generally a little bit low for ultimate mode. In normal mode, this grenade will last you upwards of 10 to 15 levels or maybe even more before it becomes too weak to insta-kill mobs.
Number 9, this better be good!
Coming in at number 9 is Message in a Bottle. There are multiple Message in a Bottle quests, but only 2 of them are worth the effort in my opinion, and they are the one in Hater's Folly, which will earn you the Rapier, and the one in Oasis, which will land you an Orphan Maker shotgun. Both of these weapons are very powerful. The Rapier boasts the highest melee damage bonus of any weapon in the game at 200%. The Orphan Maker, on the other hand, is a powerful Jacob's shotgun with 850% weapon damage. The trick to both of these weapons is that their high damage is slightly offset by their curse properties. The Orphan Maker does 5% damage to the user per shot, and the Rapier, when equipped, will allow enemies to do higher melee damage to you. Ultimately, though, both of these weapons are very good at any level of the game.
And now, for number 8!
Number 8, the Splinter Group. After unlocking the Bloodshot Stronghold area in the game, you can return to Sanctuary for the Splinter Group side quest. The quest has you delivering a pizza to 4 mutated bandits living in the sewers of Bloodshot Stronghold. This is often referred to as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Easter egg. Killing any of the 4 can result in them dropping the Stormfront grenade, which is one of the best grenade mods in the game. The Stormfront is a Merv and Tesla style hybrid grenade capable of doing massive damage in a fairly large area. Great versus mobs or even as an option while holding a Moxie weapon for healing. This grenade is highly effective on any playthrough and works especially well with a melee 0 or a gauge build.
On to lucky number 7, which for a top 10 list is kinda mediocre.
Number 7, A Real Boy Human. This is the culmination of a multi-part quest where a robot named Mal has you hunting down clothes and then body parts so he can become a real human. The final step has you fighting Mal, and after defeating him, you can acquire one of the most interesting guns in the game, the Fibber. This is one of those quests that you're going to want to save before completing it though, as you're going to be searching for a very particular version of this gun to output insane damage. The best way I've seen it explained was by Admiral Baru, who essentially noted that the version that splits projectiles will always be the highest base damage listed on the card. The shotgun version that doesn't split projectiles and should be avoided will have a ×1 beside the damage, and the crit version will have the lowest base damage. Ideally, you're looking for a redundant Fibber with shock damage, as this is the best version for gauge, but also well suited for stripping enemy shields in very fast order. Honestly though, any redundant Fibber will be amazing, so happy hunting.
And the award for least likely to make the top 5 goes to number 6!
Number 6, Uncle Teddy. This quest is available from the Firestone Bounty board fairly late in the story mode. Completing it is very easy and can land you one of the best pistols in the game in the Lady Fist. The Lady Fist sports the highest crit modifier of any weapon in the game at 800%. This gun is amazing on every class and works well with or without the D-shield. This is another mission that you're going to want to farm via dashboarding or by having a friend join before turning in the mission, of course. You can use these methods to get multiple prefixes and elements, but ultimately I'd recommend a redundant prefix with a Hyperion grip. Slag is always a good option, especially if you're going to be using this for Salvador.
Number 5!
Coming in at number 5 is Don't Copy That Floppy. One of the best all-around weapons in the game can be acquired in the Captain Scarlet DLC by way of a mission called Don't Copy That Floppy. This is another fairly easy mission requiring you to retrieve some items from a different area and then return them to Censorbot. The whole thing takes less than 10 minutes and nets you a killing machine known as the Pimpernel. The Pimpernel has several good prefixes, with most players preferring the barking prefix for the additional splash damage. Honestly though, pretty much all Pimpernels are powerful and more than capable of killing most mob enemies in 1 or 2 shots. This mission will require you to dashboard farm or cloud save farm or even have a friend join before you turn it in, so make sure you watch my guides on those, which will appear at the end of this video and also in the description down below.
Come on, get to number 4! I got places
she's the bee!
Number 4, the good, the bad, and the Mordecai. Few snipers can match the destructive power of the aforementioned Pimpernel, but there's one other sniper out there that I have to have on every playthrough, and that's the Lyuda. Now to get this gun, you're going to need to complete the good, the bad, and the Mordecai quest. Once again, this is another easy quest requiring very little work. At the end of the quest, you'll run into Gettle and Mobley on Boot Hill. Gettle drops the highly prized Lyuda, and Mobley drops the Varuk assault rifle. Now the Varuk is decent on normal mode, but it takes very specific builds to be useful beyond that. Luckily, both of these guys are farmable, so simply return to the area anytime you want to try for another Lyuda or Varuk.
Third time's a charm! Here's number 3!
Number 3, Rackaholics Anonymous. Most players know of the infamous Grog Nozzle and how well it can heal you, but more on that in just a moment. Earlier in the game, however, you can earn yourself a very powerful Moxie pistol called the Ruby. The best part of this is you can farm to get a bladed version so that a substantial portion of your melee damage is returned to you in health. This is massive for Zero and Krieg melee builds, allowing you to essentially become invincible as long as there's something around to stab. This mission requires you to turn it into Moxie for the Ruby. Turning it into Mordecai will land you the Sloth, which is a burst-fire doll sniper, which is also decent in early game, but falls pretty far behind on the damage of the Lyuda or the Pimpernel. Definitely save your game before turning in the mission of Moxie, and try for a bladed version with Slag Element. If you don't get it, then dashboard or Alt F4 if you're on PC to quit without saving, and reload your game to try again. Also, don't forget there's the cloud save farming option as well.
If at first you don't succeed, you become number 2!
Number 2, the beard makes the man. Speaking of powerful healing Moxie weapons, the most powerful of them all is the Grog Nozzle. Available through the Beard Makes the Man quest in the Tiny Tina Assault on Dragon Keep DLC, the trick to this mission is you cannot turn it in. Do not finish this quest. Just start it and you will automatically get the Grog Nozzle in your inventory as a quest item. The downside to this is that the prefix and parts will change on the gun every time you load in. Theoretically, you can just save and quit until you get a bladed one, and then you keep that for the entirety of that session of play, but as strong as this gun is for healing, you're probably just fine without worrying about that and just playing on. Again, just be aware that this mission you want to keep open and never turn it in. You will have to do this mission again for each playthrough, however. Honorable mention, Medical Mystery. After completing and turning in the Medical Mystery quest, you can return to Three Horns Valley and wreck Doc Mercy over and over again to get one of the most coveted pistols in the game, whether that's warranted or not, in the Infinity Pistol. This pistol has the benefit of being the only gun in the game that can fire forever without running out of ammo or needing to be reloaded, making it a very interesting option for several characters and builds. And Doc Mercy is farmable anytime you want without having to keep the mission open.
Okay, here it is, the big kahuna, number 1!
Coming in at number 1, the Doctor's Orders quest. As many of you who visit my live streams know, farming loot midgets is one of my favorite things to do in the game, and one of the best places to farm them is in the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve after picking up the Doctor's Orders quest. Now, the trick to keeping this mission active and making it work best is to not pick up any of the mission items at all, and instead proceed to the area where you'll find Timon and Pumbaa, and then enter the Natural Selection Annex on your right. If you don't have the Natural Selection Annex unlocked, then check with friends and other players to see if you can join their game to unlock it, as just going into the area in someone else's game will unlock it on your game as well. After going into the Natural Selection Annex, just go right back out, and now the game will recognize that as your starting point for subsequent runs. From here, you head over to the area of the map where Bloodwing was being kept during the story. Eventually, you'll reach this room that has a red chest and 4 cardboard boxes. Open each box for a loot midget, being careful not to pick up the mission item in the second box from the end. A few things to note about this quest. First of all, you can combine it with the Animal Rights quest to eliminate the need to fight the room full of stalkers that are just beyond the Natural Selection Annex. Second, make sure to kill as many enemies in the surrounding rooms around the midgets as you can. If there are too many enemies spawned at one time, then sometimes the game will keep midgets from spawning. Final note, try to have your health and ammo as close to max as possible before each midget kill. The game tries to determine your loot from these little guys based on factors like your health and ammo first, and then it rolls for loot after that. Having high ammo and health will trigger the game to roll for loot at a higher rate, and that means better loot from the midgets. So that's my top 10 best quests to farm in Borderlands 2. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite quests are. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to drop a like and hit subscribe for more. Be sure to follow me on Twitter to know when my content is coming. Share this video with your friends, and feel free to post suggestions in the comments below for some other Borderlands content that you would like for me to cover. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.